What's my line? Sorry, I had a little to drink and I'm a little under the weather and I just don't see how they even made episode 98 of the Grand Dungeon, and I'm in a terrible mood to stop the evils of Dr. Wily, but I guess a dungeon is a dungeon, and this is the dungeon to end all dungeons. I don't even get why they show this flank of information. Dungeon Master's shooting his way through the sky suddenly, peacefully. Wow, those bird eggs look like they're heavy, man. Don't let one crash on you, buddy. Take out those birds and take that energy and go to the brain, man. Go to the brain. Yeah, this is one of those novelties of your games where you just shoot your way through everything and you're this little happy dude. Like, he looks happy for how much he's got to fight against, and that he's already at the Air Master is kind of a scary thought, because that means we miss most of the really scary parts of this game. And that we do. Some of us have a fear of heights, means I'm not going to play it back. I mean, it's a memory I have, of, what the heck, we'll play it back. Because this is what he does way up in the sky on these. We didn't see this part, did we? He has to make those materialize and get over to him. See, that's the way to do that jump, isn't to jump right into it, but on the side of it so much that it doesn't quite get up your risk as much. But now I see that we've caught back up a little ways. Well, we haven't seen this yet. But I'm thinking, what if we go through the same part of the dungeon again as an experiment of getting further in the dungeon a bit ahead of ourselves and going back? Wait a minute. This has been going for 2 minutes and Dungeon Master's getting airsick or afraid of heights. Dungeon Master here, very scared of heights. Can't stand going this high upon the hill. This is one of those games that I'm just seeing an endless sort of repetition to, that each time we show this same scene, it builds to the new, exciting scene we have not seen yet in terms of the scenes. But that there's only one shot per dungeon is kind of risky for this kind of a show, but we'll take it to mean that we've got the rights so far to everything that's going on. At least YouTube is giving us a reason to film it and advertise it to you as this great game. I mean, you can't say there's giant birds in a game not this great. Why I chose it. Well, you don't really choose the dungeons choose you. And as we squeal to a halt on the ultimate Dungeon Master video game is really good commercial for these Mega Man games. I really think they love it that we're scoring them home so rampantly. And now we must fight a boss battle like we were a minute ago when we rewound. And no, I'm not going to rewind this time, although I should, and make you relive the air level. Now, we're destroying the air guy by being in front of him and shooting in behind him, and you can't shoot through the tornadoes, but if you kill him, then you'll get his tornadoes. And that was just it. We killed a boss, not a level up. Maybe when we kill 3 more bosses, we'll get a level up. We'll discuss it then. Yeah, hello, this is Dungeon Master. We're just beginning. It's episode 98. I don't know how many more there's going to be. There's going to be, it's the Dungeon Master tapes part 98, excuse me. There's an exact way to say that, and we're getting leveled up on here, but not leveled up on the game. I don't really know why they have these interludes so tragic that they used to just have the game and that was it, but I like that they did these interludes anyway, because now I can look at them like they're a lot of fun, and I enjoy them all, and they really give me a kick. They really give me a kick out of Zoo. And I don't know where do I get these kind of like Mega Man Buster ideas to get this going on to where we need it to go on. Oh, see, we already beat one. Square circle takes a square. Oh, this is better than Hollywood squares. Where are we going? Da 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 da, Crash Man. Da 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 da, Crash Man. Oh, there's a commercial, and I just love commercials because we missed the first one, and what was that? And this is like a grocery store. Oh, that they could bring it to you. It's so great. And now we leave off where Mega Man came in. Granted, this isn't the first one. I mean, we could rewind it back to then, but I think we're stuck on a feeling. And if we need the first one, we can go in a different episode. You know how we always do different spin-offs from our own dungeon. If we decide to go through the first one, we will. But there's so much nostalgia for the second one, just seeing these little dwarves in hats and blowing them down quickly with a strange gun hand that I have. No one can pass me up because I have the gun hand. These robots are toast upon toast, for I am the gunman of the episode. And just think, I've only been doing this for the length of 5 minutes, and now look how far I am and how much farther I need to go. And sometimes I look at the time loop and I'm thinking, you're at 6 minutes, but we've played about 15 minutes of game. I don't know how we didn't rewind the air level far enough or something. Something was misleading on our last by the minute countdown, and don't worry, that will happen again, because with Dungeon Master controlling, we could be at the end and then back at the beginning in like no time at all. But that's probably not going to happen, because I'm thinking I'm seeing kind of a want to see what happens when you get to Crash Man, and if you get to Crash Man, will you actually beat him, Mega Man? I gotta see you beat this guy to believe it, because I know that Mega Man is a superstar, but he's got to realize that this is the reason he's a superstar, is because he is going to climb these ladders until he finds Crash Man, and then he's going to put the crash on Crash Man. Did you know that? I bet you did not know that. Meanwhile, has anybody seen my copy editor? Because I've got this book that I wrote about 1,000 years ago in a storm. But it was only about 50 years ago, really. It wasn't that long. I'm not that old. Come on now. Well, I do sound a bit over 134 myself. And I know the Crypt Keeper has my back when he says 154 doesn't even seem that bad anymore. But I don't want to bring that up because that's fatalism. Any sign of giving up due to the oncoming of death is fatalism. And you gotta avoid that if you want to avoid the ha-ha mansion, you know? If you're gonna be in control, you gotta know when the dice are there to roll. And if the dice are there to roll, you shoot that robot or two, you get an energy pack, play some Mega Man, things are okay. But look how close we can get to him suddenly. And it's like this active memory that if we get close to the Mega Man, he'll just lock us out with weird potions. Oh, come in, Mega Man. You gotta see this boss battle. It's Crash Man. Oh, don't let him beralder you. Oh, that was 2 hits with the airwave. 2 hits with the airwave, and Mega Man takes it. How do you feel now, there, big sugar Bobby? You doing good? You kicking some ass? You kick ass for everyone's sake, especially. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it because I have the new knowledge of the beast, and that is that if it's mentioned aloud, it automatically cancels it, because you're not supposed to say it aloud. You're supposed to summon it willingly and formally with your mind and body, but not really talk about it. Okay, here we go. Because if we do that, we'll beat Flashman. What, does he flash at you? I bet he flashes at you to be Flashman. This doesn't sound like... Oh, it's that kind of a flash. Well, there's neon in the building, and there's robots that need canistered. Where were you about 5 minutes ago when I was making this movie? What was going on then? Did something just happen? Well, Mega Man's rounding out... He just beat Crash Man, dude. Come on now. You were there. You just pretended like it didn't happen earlier, and now you're all twined up on minute 9. And that you're keeping the minutes at such a show pace, when really we're thinking this to be not quite as enumerated as some of the other dungeon masters have been, only to score it a peaceful battle for all you dungeon masters who have sported it to 98 and don't know what will happen next. But we don't know either. Wizards of the Coast suggestions we will follow. But we don't know either what the future holds after the defeat of Dungeon Master the game at level 112, and that gives us 14 more levels counting this one. 14 more levels counting this one. Or maybe 15 counting this one, there's 98 just got there, but tomorrow's 112. It just seems like we're getting closer and closer to this sort of vortex of the ending of everything that we've set up, and it's getting wilder and wilder, and no one knows what the ending's going to hold. And the band with the bard in it must go on. The bard must keep singing these like sort of Elder Scrolls type magical bard songs, and it was in the dictionary that there was meant to be a dungeon master. But Dungeon Master calls to you. It says to you, please support the dungeon masters that exist. And there's what we do on commercials, yes. But support Dungeon Master, please. Because when we're gone, you'll still have all the 112 dungeons. And you'll still be able to get done what you need to get done, because there's so many dungeons you can go back to one and forget what it's all about. Just mark them off as you go, come on now. Gazillion type, come on, move along. Yes, you're not the droids we're looking for. Here you go. Get your weapons ready, Mega Man. That's not what you hear every day, but okay. He's getting equipped with item 3. Item 3. Item 3. This takes a long time to go through. Alright, where we at? We're halfway over, not even sure which way we're going, and here we have it on the time tacker that we're really slicing through this dungeon in kind of a breakneck pace, but we're not going to get there in time to see the ending unless we make a jump. Now, but it's so interesting right here at this point, but we have to see sort of this display, and I'm looking at the context of it all right now, and I want to see it all go down, and I think I'll set it here for a moment. We might want to relax in this new kind of gaming that isn't going to be linear. If he gets item 3, item 4, I'll be like really tripped out. Oh, atomic fire, okay. So now he's in the bowels of hell, going through the inferno level, and I think he's going to throw those sawsies at those Mice and Minx type characters, and we're going through. We're not going to make it to the end, but we're going through. Because we still got, like, all the time in the world, Dungeon Master. Well, not all the time in the world, see. I had Billy forth with some ninjas, and they were saying that it was time to actually say, Dungeon Master, we will lose you, but we will gain a new game that lasts forever. And then since these levels lasted forever, the game must last forever, is what the point of the show really means. That the game lasts forever, that we're still playing it, that we're still somewhere playing this, that this is probably me as a child playing this game so rampantly, non-stoppedly, infiguratively, non-stop. And that, I tell you, we're in some kind of gratosphere, because blowing up these bunnies has never been so interesting. But this seems like Mega Man 3, but is it not the Mega Man 2? And, well, you know, normally I don't do this, but it's once in a while I get to see a scene like the ending of this, and then we'll go right into part 3, because this is really seen by not many people. This whole exam of how the future got solved by Mega Man defeating Dr. Wily. And we didn't see how. You know, we just saw an apple core fall out of the tree, And now we've got this strange thing here, and we're seeing him walk to the gas station. Now you beat Dr. Wily, and you didn't see how. Okay, Mega Man, but we can wait to see part 3, because we cannot wait to see the Beralding, and I do mean Beralding, of Dr. Wily. And Dr. Wily better be in this next room, and I better be housing him, because it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. And Mega Man 2 is a rock and roll legend. I mean, look at all the rock and roll that was playing on the soundtrack even now. With the Magic Flute. Really good. Magic Flute, Mozart. Yes, we love opera. We love opera. Dungeon Master loves opera. Do we not? Yes, we do. And we love YouTube. We love YouTube. And we are going to mince Dr. Wily into a piece of alien. What? I'm beginning to cower away and want to go to part 3, but let's face him. He's like a Zoolander, or a Conqueror Zool, or a Zool of Hope. And that I ride on him with these strange boss battle. It's Dr. Wily's demonic form. You'll have to beat it using powers of magic. Can you fight back? This is a commercial for Mega Man. This is for Dungeon Master while we can. You may say we have to wait for the timeline. That is what you get when you're doing so fine. Alright, if there's going to be commercials, we're chock-a-blocking it to Mega Man 3 middle game. Let's go for it. Whoosh! That really takes me back to a time when I was a kid and played these kind of games that were too hard for me, and really, let's see how this dungeon finishes out, because we're just a little over the halfway, folks. You're going to have to suffer with me as we go through Mega Man 3. And we're hoping above all hopes this registers with the counter, because we got 14 more episodes in the kiln, and they're all coming with wish lists, and now we got this level over Divine. And somehow it seems like it wasn't Mega Man 3, but it is Mega Man 3, you know? 2, you can't take 2 for granted. What happened to 1, I don't know. We didn't get to part 1, did we? Well, we didn't get part 1. And that kind of makes me wonder if we should go to part 1 just for the heck of it and do part 1 before we do part 3. Now let's do part 3 anyway. That's the beauty of the NES. You can go to part 3, play part 2 again. You know, you don't have to know one before the other. It's like Castlevania. You can beat 3 before you beat part 1. Come on now. Although part 1 of Castlevania, you have to admit, is quite a creepy game and has most of the monsters in it the Dungeon Master loves best, like the vampires and shit, isn't it? Come on now. You know what I'm talking about. If you get too far to yourself, you'll get over yourself, and if you get over to yourself, then you're not too far from yourself. You're just distant in like a look beyond the usher. You're like distancing from a character we all know you played in the roomy room of the constable. And these were to circumspect the outer shelf of denial that was cast upon the seas of tranquility that were once upon an effort the things to develop over the sort of mind that had produced in the altar. And that is how long it took us to get this far on Dungeon Master Mega Man Master, Dungeon Master. Boss battle. See, we don't get a level up this level because Mega Man doesn't believe in level ups. He just has to fight all the bosses, beat them, and then beat Dr. Wily. Now, that he can't beat Dr. Wily till he beats all the bosses is the key plot points to this game, but that he can beat them, the men in any order, but he usually does it to what weapon he can get the best of to get the best of the other monster. And if we, look ahead to some of the places he'll be, I don't think that we'll really... Did we see this already? And we're doing it again. But this time it seems different, but it's not. did we have to go through another level that was just like it? Oh, this reminds me of Mega Man 2, where there's all those spikes everywhere, and you have to dodge them, and that looks like Mega Man 2. This isn't Mega Man 3. Who labeled this? But if you have to go through the same things you do in Mega Man 2, this looks like Mega Man 2. And whoever said this was 3, I like, were the right ones, because you don't have those bouncing boxes that turn to shoot until 3, do you? Those are like those Super Mario Brothers hinge things. Yes, I remember the same Japanese game maker was behind them, and they were behind the Duck Hunt game, to which I'm not going to go to yet, but if I ever get lost in a dungeon and go to the Duck Hunt game, just remember that I'm really lost and I don't want to be hunting ducks in front of the liberal crowd, because they will think that that's unfriendly and unnatural to shoot even ducks that are on screen as though they're ducks. And this guy can shoot at robots all he wants. We know robots have no feelings. That's why they can't write that well. They don't have feelings. If there was a paranoid robot, he could write a great cynical story, but not right now. Boss battle. London. Okay, now you gotta shoot him at an angle, man. Oh, good shot. That's why I say, hey, Mega Man, nice shot. What a nice shot, Mega Man. Alright. You gotta see that this ape chimp guy's going down. This is a way crazier boss battle than any of those boss battles in Part 2. It's just like the... Man, Mega Man, you fucking just blew him out of the water. I can't believe you knocked him back that far. You got no men to beat yet. Is that Breakman left? Snake Man's already been beaten. Where have I been all this game? And I'm not sorry if suddenly Duck Hunt scrolls up in this adventure and shows us how it all began, because I'm feeling like those that don't want to go there should look away or just jot down that you couldn't do this one. But this is part of a dungeon, and we gotta be real delicate about this situation, because there's a lot going on here. I mean, that we're hunting is already against the values of like cartoons and in terms of Bambi and everything. We're not supposed to hunt because we'll be hunting Bambi's dad. But in this game, Nintendo actually produces a feeling to shoot ducks from the sky, as many as you can. And I don't know if that's a really good idea to show this, so I'm just going to show a little more, and then we'll, you know what, we'll get out of here, we'll go here, come on now. We got this. We've been to this dungeon before. It's that dungeon that accidentally stepped on Duck Hunt and didn't realize that was the scariest game I'd ever seen. Did you see the look on those faces of the ducks when you shot them? Not cool, man. That's like Battle Flare. That's like you shouldn't have it, but it's there, and I don't know why they were teaching kids it was cool to shoot ducks. Am I okay? Are you okay? Is everybody okay? All right, now help me be this little elf guy to kill these gnats so we can blow them up. I mean, these are evil gnats. They're the dark knights. Come on now. That I must get the lion key. I must get the lion key. Seek no more the effervescent shoals. Currently I have no remorse for the things left here inside, left in Dungeon Master to achieve. To have been there once and to have been back where we are now is no lesson on the Dungeon Master privy, but a box before us in all conquering flights of where to go before the devil knows you're dead. And where to go before the devil knows you're dead is someplace to hide, because as soon as he finds out, he's going to come collecting from you. And if you think, oh, he'll collect from me just like he wants to. You know, this is Dungeon Master kicking in here before you guys screw up the show again or whatever you're doing. just let me say that I may sound a little more down in these last episodes, but it's only because I've worked so hard to be here, only because it's been such a long fight to be here, only because it's been wild and long and the road's been the long and winding road of never-ending Dungeon Master and his path. And you've all been here with me, and it's like, that's why I sound tired and defeated, not because Dungeon Master is over, but it's almost over, and I have to sigh for relief on that level that we finish it, unless some new game gets picked up by the same company, and I don't even know what we could possibly do yet. But we'll think of something that we could do to keep a new kind of Dungeon Master going. Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. You take over again.
So in the desert, he's got some choices. He can shoot his laser bolt sword at that spider and smash it, what you just did. Or he can randomly go back through the desert and be lost, because he has to make sure he's got everybody on the clip. But where were we going when no one was showing which way we should go again?
Well, it's like you all told me. The thing about reason is the moral center, where we abandon time with our motives and directives and think only of the reasonable resource of our youth. In things Patagonia, in things Valentus sane, in things the Valence of Spain, in things that were to conquer the world and see them in sight, was anything quite like the years the Dungeon Master really had it going. And now, you say I'm all burnt out on Dungeon Master, and that's okay because there was a Dungeon Master frickin' marathon to get here. I mean, no wonder we're so stuck in The Legend of Zelda all of a sudden. It's because it's Dungeon Master. We don't always have control of the toggle. And the toggle will go where it will. And you can't tell me that there isn't enough Legend of Zelda in this game, because there's Legend of Zelda left and right, man. I made sure it was all over the place in here. Okay? And if you're gonna call it another name, call it Legend of Zelda, but this is Dungeon Master, so please say I'm burning out or whatever. And I know, I'm an old fool for thinking this campaign wouldn't take its toll on me, but this campaign has been the most bewildering campaign of all history. Of all the Enchantress's blows to the neck, and then all of the vampires attacking me to the neck, and I've just been up to my neck in work, and it seems... Oh, sorry. We're coming around the bend on where we need to stay a friendly game, and friendly is how we're going to end it. Friends, how would you end it? If you think me and Dungeon Master are sounding tireder than we normally do, I'm the warrior. It isn't because we've been playing so much Dungeon Master. We just got sleepy today and don't have the adventure spirit in us, right? So you can fire us as your guide. But it is Dungeon Master's game, so you're going to have to listen to him a little bit, even in his burnt out state. So don't worry. I heard a weariness in Dungeon Master. He's not going on forever. And what was with that dude who thought we were talking about, like, nasty things when we said Dungeon Master? I said, well, everybody's got a nasty dimension for everything, and we're not really that nasty. We just play a lot of video games and get real far on them, so you be the judge. You can tell us just because we're worshiping the devil and all that shit, drinking potions and all that shit and casting magic, that we're somehow evil. Well, I'm evil enough to shoot some dudes in the forest that are shooting swords at me, that's for sure. But I'm not evil enough to take a toasty groasty from the mosty toasty. And we'll see what that means on the green land of effect. That one was in Shu, another in Ben Hecht. And find me the level that once more divine was to take me to Legend of Zelda level 9. That had already played all the way through, and that is why I'm feeling it's around 2. I've got to get those coins. Before I do, I'm going to cross through here with a bridge or two and zap that dude before he eats my shield.
And that's the key that I needed to build. Alright, you got the gold key. What do you think now? That wasn't the master lockpick, but we may not get the master lockpick in Dungeon Master. We didn't get the holy hand grenade. I don't even think it comes out until the last level, because we know it's one of the things that can beat the last level. Although we're not told what the boss is for that yet, and we're all getting very excited. So join me, if you will, for a Latin hymn called Curse Renasib. Nope, let's just call it good for Dungeon Master 89. No, that's backwards numbering. 98. 98 Dungeon Masters, and still we go for more. I don't believe these guys. Like, they're not like the 500 brand of South Park, but they're not easily mired over by time limits or dictations. Although neither one of us are, really. And just because there's been those hour-long occasions, I've had some good hour-long occasions with you. But I have to say, we've had our share of those, too. And we're just going for longer now. Because we know this dream is going to end, and we'll want it back. We'll want back our memory of this dream, and everything will look foggy and branchy from a distance to a wing. And then I blew up the blue thing in the middle of the screen. Goodbye, my Dungeon Master, until part 99. And like 1999, may there not be a glitch in going to 100. But it's only going to get trickier and riskier and wilder from here, so you better say good night, Mega Man, and hello, Link, and good night, Link, and hello, past. And before he kills this blob, the end.